Welcome to Reseller Recap, where we talk all things reselling across multiple platforms. Join us for real-life discussions on how we crush the elusive work-life balance. Grab a coffee and join us now.
Hi guys, welcome back to Reseller Recap with Jen, Emily, and Morgan. And today we're missing Morgan, but she's having the time of her life. So we are going to talk about all the e-commerce platforms because there's a lot of new ones or newish ones that are out now. And so we're just going to jump right into it. So Hi, Em.
Hey, there are so many new ones, and I think that's the beauty of this. You really don't have to pigeonhole yourself into one platform, and you can evolve. You know, I think that's also the beauty of arbitrage is you don't have a brand you're launching, you're not running ads, so you're not so stuck to like Amazon has to work. You can really
Yeah.
say, I want a live sell right now. I want to do eBay right now. I want to do yard sale season right now, and it all work out. What are the platforms that you love being on the most?
Yeah, so there's really four I'm on consistently. So that's Amazon, Walmart, eBay, and Macari. And I do Macari just because you can kind of cross list your eBay stuff. So I can put the time into the listings on eBay and then have it show up on Macari. And I use eBay a lot for my returns, or I was, but I'm trying to even get with all the restrictions on Walmart, like put more things on eBay. So eBay's really been picking up for me. I'm super interested in researching into their like live selling because if you guys don't know, eBay now has a live selling option. So that's something I'm hoping this summer I can kind of dive into a little bit more. What about you, Emily? What do you got going?
So I am Amazon, Walmart, and Facebook Marketplace. I would say those are my three. And I come from when I started, it was Poshmark, eBay, Macari, a lot of reselling my Goodwill finds, thrift store
Yeah.
finds, estate finds. So I've kind of done it all. The only thing I haven't really gone onto the deep end is live selling. I did Whatnot for a month, I want to say. So I did just 2 shows. So I understand the basics, but I'm far from your expert there. But I wanted to see, I love the live element. So I think if I had time, I would definitely do that. But live selling is a whole nother thing. It's not just
Mm-hmm.
we're all used to throwing listings up, but live selling is like not just throwing the listing up, but then your time, like you're entertaining people. So that's a whole nother skill set.
Yeah.
But I like in general that there are so many options, to move product with Walmart restricting things or Amazon restricting things. It's not really the end of the world. So I like to be aware of everything, but it's difficult to give everything your time if you're just a one person business
Yeah.
like most of us are.
1000%.
You have to kind of decide, and then there's like AIP we've talked about before and reviewing products, and it's difficult to do it all. So you have to figure out like, well, with my business now, what's going to benefit that the most? And so for most of us, it's like eBay,
Yeah.
getting rid of stuff.
Yeah. No, I agree because there is now like Shein's got a third party marketplace, Target's got a third party marketplace. Is Temu? I think Temu even got into it a
Yeah.
little bit. Yeah, like TikTok Shop, Whatnot, all the Facebooks, marketplaces, eBay and eBay Live Sync. There's so many options. And it's interesting when you talk to other sellers because we had just came back from Prosper and I was talking to people about like their journey, and especially people that have been in it like we have like 5+ years now, the evolution of where they started and where they are now. And that's one thing that you're like you said, you're not stuck in anything. You can what is working for you at that time. You can go into it, you can come out of it. We're able to be way more flexible than if we are doing straight wholesale bulk buys, like we just don't have to do that, like we're not forced into
Right.
having to do all these brand direct deals. We can pivot and keep it
Right.
moving. So
And I think that's really underplayed. If you're in the arbitrage space on social media, you feel like you are somehow the stepchild. And I guess I don't like that saying either because stepchildren are great. So
yeah,
I'm like, but that's always the old saying I grew up with, like, oh, you're the
Yeah,
stepchild.
the redheaded stepchild. I was like, I
That's so
take
sad for
offense.
the redheaded stepchildren.
That's my siblings. They're redheaded.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel bad saying that, but I don't know the
Yeah.
next best. Probably another
Yeah.
offensive one.
Yeah.
Sorry if that offended you, but you feel like not worthy or something. It's like,
Yeah.
this is the big person space. But I think we understand that this isn't supposed to be like 20-year investment. Like, we're not trying to sell a business at the end of this. We're just
Mhm.
avoiding sometimes getting another job,
Yeah.
or this is to help pay the bills with your current setup and current job. So, and this works really, really well for that still.
Yes.
So, I really think you have to decide what you need first, what you're looking for, because you don't have to know how to plan a full business and grow and scale and sell a whole
Mhm.
business. It can just be from like point one to point two situation where you are selling to
Yeah.
make ends meet. And all of these platforms work really well for that.
When there's a cashier at one of the Walmarts I go to, because she always would tell me, like, oh, there's a great deal on these baby clothes. I just bought a bunch. Like, you should go check this out. Or, hey, I heard they're going to be marking it down. And she was always having yard sales to sell things. And I told her, maybe you should look at Facebook Marketplace or eBay. So she started putting things in bundles. And now she's, doing really well. She said she's making more money by having it kind of together and finding a way to
Yeah.
modify it a little bit. So,
I do hear sometimes people come across our channels and like, well, immediately they'll have why they can't do it. And you're probably not going to work out with this. If you
yeah.
see somebody flipping stuff on eBay or Walmart and you're like, 10 reasons why you can't do it, this is not for you, because we are in the business of like creating solutions. And you're pivoting all the
Hmm.
time, and you get bad news all the time, and you're still
Yep.
doing it. But I
Yep.
think this is great for the people like that who see, okay, I don't have a good clearance section around me, but what do I have? I have great estate sales. I have great
Yeah.
yard sale season. There's so many other options, so when people just say, I don't have good clearance at my Walmart, you fine, great. Leave it for the people who
Okay.
are willing to
Yeah.
go out and find it. But I think for me, I've always been like, what's my next option? Even when I
Yeah.
had no money, I was looking at free stuff at yard sales. Like, you cannot out hustle me, but you do have to have that can do attitude that just
Yeah.
can kind of get up and get it happening, because, no one's going to do this for you. No one's going to help you. And
Yep.
I've been in the community space and education space a long time. And that's really the hardest person to deal with, is somebody who's like, can't do it themselves, always complaining, always like, well, this isn't easy. It's none of it's easy. So
Yeah.
it's just figuring out what platform fits you and your lifestyle the best.
Yeah. When I think of like Anna the other day in the community was saying she was driving through a neighborhood and saw all this furniture out front that said free. And she's like, I think I can just probably flip this. I mean, I have a zero buy in cost and they just want it gone. And called her husband, come put it in the back of the truck. And within what she say, the same day, she had already
Yeah,
sold it all and made like $750. Like,
yeah,
you just have to think differently. Okay, well, what if you didn't sell? Okay, I'm okay with leaving this in my garage for 2 days. Worst case, I take it to, the St. Vincent de Paul or whatever and donate it and get a tax write off. Okay, great. Like, just it's a different mindset. It doesn't have to be complicated. You can do what you want.
right.
I I laugh about live selling though, because I don't know about you, but when I was younger, I loved to watch like QVC. Like, it numbed
Yes.
me out. I just listening to people talk, and I feel like that's what's happening again. It's making like a resurgence of,
Yeah,
I want to hear people talk. So if you've ever wanted to be like an HSN or QVC post, I think live selling is your jam. You like talking to yourself and having conversations with yourself, then I think live selling is for you. If you are
yeah.
like, please never make me have to talk to anybody, pivot other directions. Pivot to more of a eBay, Facebook Marketplace, or Amazon, Walmart.
Yeah, I think that's so funny because we would laugh at our parents for QVC and buying stuff online. And
Yeah.
here we are like, wow, that is actually super addictive. But I've seen QVC coming back. I keep seeing their TikToks
Yeah.
because they're so funny and things
Yes.
happen on their live call-ins.
Oh
So
my God.
I think that's hilarious. But yeah, I'm a yapper. I'm a professional yapper. So I really enjoyed live selling, but it's just such high energy the whole time, and you
They gotta
end
be
it.
pounding those monsters and Alanis.
Yes, you end that and you're like, I ran a race. That's what it feels like.
Yeah. Yeah.
So those people who are going for 4, 5, 6 hours, I'm like, dang,
Yeah.
that is personality. So yeah, but that's definitely two different types of people. One person who likes to yap and be in front of the camera, and the other person who is like, absolutely not, never.
Yeah. People that are hiring people to be the face and voice so they don't have to. I mean, like they're finding these 20 somethings that love to post all over socials and have huge followings and then having them do their shows for them, which is, I think, really smart too. If that's
Yeah.
not your jam, but you want to get into that, find a solution. Like you said, we're solution providers.
Definitely. And I've actually seen a lot of people from the Walmart, Amazon space who are in wholesale and want to capitalize on live selling, and they don't have the time. And so they're just like, either liquidating some of their stuff out and moving product that way, or yeah, hiring somebody to be in front of the camera. So there is really so many options. I think you can get overwhelmed on where to start. And I think the most important thing is to look at the platforms and just see what works best for you. So if you are limited on your income, but you can go around, like I had a bunch of kids at home. I didn't have a lot of money, but we loved doing yard sales. So I went to look for flips at yard sales, products I could sell for money, or I looked for free stuff. That was like the easiest way
Yeah.
for me to get from 0 to 20 bucks, 0 to 40 bucks. If you have some money to invest and you can pick up a little bit more, but still you can't make some big risk decisions, eBay is a great option. You get a really high return. Like you can invest $4 and really clear $25 pretty easily, and you're getting your money back quick. If you have a little bit more income, it's like, and you can decide to invest in education, community, that's where you have Walmart and Amazon. So there's
Hmm.
really
Hmm.
phases and levels. I think sometimes people want to do Amazon and Walmart, but really don't have the capacity. So they jump ahead too soon. And I think no matter what, it's just figuring out where you can start.
One of the things, like you were mentioning, that thing before, and I am so glad that I did eBay first. Like I have been an eBay seller since 2008. Like I did not realize my account was around for that long till like I was taking this seriously as a job, that wow, like because you have more experience of what's selling, how long did I have something, how to make a listing, being a little bit more aware. So I think that, I guess let me preface that with, I would start with one of those first. Like start with an eBay, start with a Facebook marketplace if you've never sold before. Then you can look at like into, do you want to go the live selling route? I mean that's a lot of time. Like you have to keep that in mind because you have to build up viewers, you have to do consistent shows, you have to, have inventory that's constantly flowing in. Or do you want to go more like Amazon, Walmart, where you're taking your eBay stuff, you found the listings that match on those platforms and you're selling it on there, and then it's moving quicker. Um, so that's my opinion. What's your opinion on it, Emily? What do you think?
Yeah, that's interesting because Amazon and Walmart is not necessarily about consistency. It is depending on like if you're talking about ungating, but it's really about finding the right products, investing money and time. Whereas eBay and reselling is a lot about consistency, even live selling. So it's kind of like, what do you have right now that you could invest? Because on Whatnot, I think they said you need to be doing like 12 hours a week to really build your base
So
to
much.
so much to build views and consistency, and even eBay really rewards you for being consistent. So people will get on like once a month and list, and then they don't get a lot of sales and views because there's just not a lot happening there. Whereas if you start listing every day or every couple days, you will definitely see a pickup in your overall sales. So that's interesting that you really have to be consistent on that side. Whereas Amazon and Walmart, it's not about you have to list something every day. It's just listing the right products
Hmm.
over there. So I think that's why I loved Amazon after coming from eBay, is not listing my products. I didn't have to like take pictures and make
Yeah.
listings. And I didn't have to list every day. I just had to go find the product. So if I found one thing that was doing well, I could just go out and find that all day. So I found that eBay was actually taking up more of my time,
Hmm.
because I would sell one thing, I have to go replace that one thing with something new.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, very different platforms when you look at it that way. So I think it really is about figuring out what you can do well. Some people cannot take pictures of listings. They're not great at tech. If you are not willing to learn, this is all going to be very difficult for you.
Yeah.
Um, I find people who are not great at tech but can do eBay and Mercari and Marketplace really well, but then when they come to Amazon, it's just a little bit too much because everything you do is on a computer there.
Yeah.
You know, talking to support, talking to customers. So that's a whole nother tech support side
Hmm.
that might be a learning curve for you. So if computer savvy is not your thing, I would really recommend going to take a class locally. There's probably even free support classes you could find at a community support,
Yeah.
the
The library
library.
has stuff here all the time.
Yeah.
Like,
So even just to get you up to date with like what we're using right now, how we're communicating, that will and I know that sounds goofy for some people, but I think just like a refresher course is probably a great place to start. And I love community events. Like I love everything the Y does, so you should
yeah.
definitely check out their what they're offering because it could help you.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about all the time, like our love, especially Morgan and I, our love of Excel. And everybody's like, oh my gosh, I haven't used Excel since high school or college. And I'm like, you guys, like, it's such a powerful tool. Take a class. Like, just, I don't know. I always like setting goals for myself each year of like learning something new, like, or what do I want to get better at? And that almost needs to be something you have to keep in mind with this. Like, things are constantly evolving. You have to learn something new and be okay with learning something new. If you don't like change, I don't think this is for you.
Yeah.
You got to be able to adapt. I mean, we weren't talking about live selling 2 years ago. So,
Oh, right. That's a whole nother. Yeah, but I think people have the personality for live selling. You should find a partner who can help you. Like
yeah.
if you are like, I'd love to be in front of a camera, but I don't know how to ship. Find somebody who can come in and like be that other side for you,
Hmm.
because I think the most successful people live selling right now have a team
Yeah.
and they're not trying to do it all. So that's another side of this, is finding somebody who can come, like if it's a partner, a spouse, a friend, you can probably find somebody who's willing to like go in on with you and invest to do this, because it's hard for one person to do everything anyways.
Yeah.
So reach out. It's a great way to not only build your knowledge base, but find a friend situation, that's so you're not, so because a lot of people are doing this because you're sitting at home and you're like, I need to
Yeah.
do something. um
Yeah.
Phone a friend.
Yeah, and I think some people like they've gotten their families involved with it, or like they're getting their kids to do it, they're getting their grandkids to do it, and I think that's also so fun, because that's what I was talking to a friend the other day. She's like, "Oh, my sister got into this because her kids were like leaving the house. She was going to be an empty nester, and so now she sells like crazy on eBay. She just goes out, she still works a regular job, but she's like her night, she's bored, so she goes to the store, she finds deals, and she's got all this stuff she's selling on, eBay now." And I was like, I love that. Like, why not, with your hobby is making more money so that she can retire from her regular job sooner than she expected to, and help her kids in college more, support them and give them a few extra $100 a month and stuff for expenses. So I think that's I don't know, an awesome way of looking at it and doing things. So
Yeah,
I
my
wish
kids.
I knew about this sooner. Let me put that out there. I wish I knew about this when I was working 5 jobs, literally.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I love having they grew up with this. I love having my kids being a part. Now they're at the point where it's not so exciting, but especially when they were little, they loved helping and being a part. And now it's second nature. If they need money, they have 5 good ways to find money. They're like, can you post this on Marketplace? I'm not, everything goes on Marketplace around here. My kids know, like, new pair of shoes, because wrestling season ends and you can't wear those wrestling shoes next year. So everything goes on Marketplace, and they know, like, you need money. Okay, we'll split this with you. You have to figure out how to raise the other half.
Hmm.
And they really hustle and get it done. I'm always impressed by them. My son is in football and he wanted a special helmet, and we're like, we will do half with you. He actually raised from the $700, he raised 500. So he raised way more,
Wow.
helping out family and friends. He sold a bunch on Marketplace. Just like finding things he could do. I was so impressed with that. Like, wow. Okay, that's
Yeah.
great. And he was like, I even raised more for you guys so you didn't have to do so much. I was like, that's fantastic. I appreciate that. So
We're not going to say no to that.
yeah, I don't know. I think having your kids around this is so good for them, that
Yeah.
they can see options, because there will be a time when they're young adults and they're old adults that they need to make money,
Yep.
and having options is a blessing.
Yep. I agree. I agree. I think I grew up with my mom always hustling and working at night and finding ways to be able to like be there to pick me up and drop me off. And I was like, that was really important to me once we started our family, that I wanted to have something that had that flexibility so that I could do those things. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And now it's like never going back. Once you start doing this and you feel that flexibility, you look
Oh,
at a
yeah.
job and you're like, wait a minute, I can't
No,
set my own hours. I have to come in. I can't imagine.
no, no, never again. Never again. So,
Yeah.
well, thank you guys for joining us today, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.